In this video, we will discuss Uniting for Ukraine, a United States program which provides a pathway for Ukrainian citizens and their immediate family members to come to the United States and stay temporarily in a 2-year period of parole. This is the primary process for Ukrainians fleeing the Russian invasion. For this program, parole means a temporary status. Parole means that the U.S. government will allow people who would otherwise not be allowed to come to the United States to travel here for a temporary period because of urgent humanitarian reasons. It is important to note that Ukrainians who arrive at U.S. land ports of entry without a valid visa or pre-authorization to travel to the U.S. through Uniting for Ukraine may be denied entry and referred to apply through this process. Uniting for Ukraine requires an eligible supporter and beneficiary. Before starting the process, please ensure that you are eligible for the program. As a supporter, you will apply to support Ukrainian citizens during their 2-year period of parole. To be eligible, supporters must hold lawful U.S. status, pass security checks, and demonstrate sufficient financial resources to support their beneficiary. Eligible beneficiaries will be Ukrainian citizens or non-Ukrainian immediate family members who are outside of the United States. Qualifying immediate family members would be a spouse or common law partner of a Ukrainian citizen or their unmarried children under the age of 21. Children under 18 must be traveling with a parent or legal guardian. Other eligible beneficiaries are individuals who resided in Ukraine immediately before the Russian invasion. All beneficiaries must have a complete record of vaccinations and other public health requirements. You can review eligibility requirements at this web address. If you have an eligible supporter and beneficiary, the supporter must file Form I-134, Declaration of Financial Support. You can only apply online and will be prompted to create an account with USCIS before you can access the form. There is no fee associated with completing this form. Supporters will be required to include the name of the beneficiary, and you cannot file this form for an unnamed beneficiary. Supporters will file separate forms for each beneficiary they plan to support. Multiple supporters can join together to support a beneficiary, but an organization may not serve as the named supporter. Once you complete Form I-134, it will be reviewed by USCIS. If approved, USCIS will send the beneficiary information about the next steps in the process to be considered for authorization to travel to the United States. The Ukrainian beneficiary will receive an email from USCIS with instructions on how to set up an account with My USCIS and other next steps. Once authorized to travel, this authorization is valid for 90 days. If the Form I-134 is insufficient, the decision is final for the submitted application. However, the supporter may file a new Form I-134 on behalf of the same or another Ukrainian beneficiary, or a different supporter may file Form I-134 on behalf of the same beneficiary. Once the paroled beneficiary is in the United States, there are many things that need to be completed. The beneficiary will need to receive a medical screening within 14 days. They will also need to complete Form I-765 to apply for a Social Security number and employment authorization. The beneficiary must also update their address in the United States via USCIS online change of address. It's important for the beneficiary to be aware of how their parole can be terminated. If they leave the U.S. without obtaining advanced authorization to travel, or they violate any laws of the U.S., the beneficiary's parole can be terminated. Remember that parole is only a temporary authorization. At the end of the parole period, the beneficiary must plan to depart the U.S., apply for reparole, or otherwise regularize their status. The beneficiary should contact an immigration attorney to discuss these options.